Yeah, so the question is, with everything that's going on, what gives you hope? And what do you feel kind of the future? How can we be hopeful for the future?
Yeah, I don't know if I really feel without hope.
Yeah.
So, I don't know why that is. I mean, I totally see what's happening in the world and around, even in my own family situation. I can feel like I'm banging my head against the wall.
Yeah.
With seeing things stuck and how I can't feel helpless.
Do you think you're just an optimistic person? Maybe it's just in your nature just to, do you think, to be...
I think what it is I've got something in me that says accepting this is the way forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rather than I've got to get rid of this. How am I gonna, get through this? Get rid of this thing that feels so intolerable and stuck.
Mhm.
So I suppose I'd equate hope as something to do with that acceptance, willingness to sort of be with it and recognise it in myself as well, that sort of helplessness I can feel. I mean, now that I'm involved with fooling, it's, like opening up that different aspects of myself, the bits that are desperate, and let them have their say, as well as those that seem to have a sort of further view of things, give me good counsel, which I can also contact. Because that's an experience you have to build up within yourself, isn't it? Like that you can, do you know what I mean? You can open up these other places where something is bearable.
Yeah.
You can bear it. Abide with me. Abide with me. I think of that word, abiding. Something like that. What about you?
I think at the moment, with hope, I've met 3 lots of people who went to that big Tommy Robinson march, weirdly.
Wow.
And I would never normally think that I would come across that. So I'm just trying to think about, I think we will come across more people like that, and it's just trying to think about how to speak to them and how to communicate. I was listening to something that the chap from Hope Not Hate, I want to call him Nick Knowles, but I think that's a TV personality, Nick something, and he said you've got to remain humble and meet people where they are. So I've just been thinking about how you meet people where they are, but still don't allow them, just that, how to approach it so that you can talk to people that you don't agree with, but at the same time maintain not get drawn into things that you don't want to get drawn into, and just where to find that. But I sort of think maybe this will be the start of a dark period, but then that gives people who sort of believe in community and opportunity at the end of it to make something better. And maybe you just need to go through that. I don't think you can open these things up and then not go through them. So that's how I'm trying to think about it and how best to do that. So that's like from a more community. Personally, I'm alright. I'm lucky. I'm okay, cheerful by disposition. I'm lucky like that. So
It is really difficult meeting people that are on the other page. And listening. And And finding common ground, like we stayed with Tim, you might have heard in the podcast, we stayed with a guy, Tim, and like he was so funny and affable, and like had turned a pub around and made it a community pub and all this stuff, but then described himself as far right. And just, you know, spouted. But it was weird because as soon as he started spouting the stuff that was the stuff you hear in the papers, his voice changed.
Right. Oh, really?
Yeah, it was just like it was a practiced diatribe, you know.
Yes.
Yeah. And just feeling like I feel like, I mean, I have this on Sark a lot as well, that I kind of want to meet people in their world and like get on in a human way.
Yeah.
And I don't even necessarily challenge them directly with what they feel and think. Sorry about the flick back.
Yeah.
But I then just go and do what I do and they see it.
Yeah.
They see it on social media or, you know, like I'm going to, one of the women that we walked with, Ren, does a thing with a charity called Calais First, where they go over to Calais and help give things out to, you know, all the people that are there. And just to go do that. And then when people say whatever they're saying, it's like, well, I've actually been there and met them, and you're saying something that you've read in a newspaper written by billionaires. So I'm going to tell you what I actually experienced and saw firsthand. And I think you should go do the same. If you go and volunteer and do a bit of that, then you'll know firsthand what's going on. And if you're right, you can come back and be completely right about it.
And have you met more people like Tim on the pilgrimage?
No, but it was quite prevalent in Devon and Cornwall. And I think the further west you go, because it was the same in the first year I walked, which was during the pandemic, everyone down there thought that it was a conspiracy and it wasn't real. And I'd come from Brighton, where it was where it came out in England, wasn't it? It's where it started in Brighton. And like one of my friends nearly died from it. And I was just like, no, it's definitely happening. And I think the thing is, with that far into the west, they're so isolated that it's all rumours and stories. And so they build it up into these big monsters in their heads. And it all becomes much more mythologised. And so literally every pub we went in, they were saying the word immigration, like every pub. And it felt really like insidious when we first set off, because it's like, oh my god, the whole country's just gone mad. And then got to Somerset and it all chilled out. And then even here, when we got into the Shires, which are much posher, there's been flags up and stuff, but it's not been the same level of that's what they're all talking about. So it's ended up not being it was not meeting anyone else really quite so for that side of the fence.
I mean, it is interesting. Wickham, that's why going up to the march on the coach from the mosque is interesting, because you're mixing, it's just, I think it's really nice at the moment with everything that's going on, just to sit with different people in the coach, even if it's, and do the march with them. And we're like a nice mixed bag, which is...
I was on the train just coming from on the, line, the Lioness. Thank you. Good morning.
Oh, hello.
There's a lioness.
Hello.
Lioness line. And then it was just, and I just got so blissed out. Seeing all the different people and hearing all the different languages and everything. And I was going a bit gaga, so like, I love London. I love being, you know. But at the same time, recognising that's not how everyone would read it. And, I'm not sure when it comes to actually talking to people how I'm going to do. I think it's very much about my own inner state. You know, how buoyant I feel. It's not about opinions. It's because opinions are so far, aren't they? They're sort of so distant. Like you can have opinions about things over there, but when you're living something, it's not an opinion anymore. It's, you know, all sorts of other things come shambling in that you didn't expect.
Password. What's a password?
Lioness.
It's a kissing game.
I like that.
Oh, these beech trees are beautiful. Hiya. Good morning.
Morning. Yeah, it's like anything, like death or any experience seen from afar has, you know, certain qualities, but it's I mean, how do we get close to each other?
Yeah.
You know, how do we get out of the sort of fog, the distant fog,
Yeah.
and actually get close to each other?
Because that's it with Tim. Like, I love Tim. He's brilliant. And people on the SARC who were very much of that ilk, I still like them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And it starts
It's like-
a community pub, but in a pub is about a community. It's like a social thing to do. So
Yeah.
it's an interesting juxtaposition.
And he was a pagan and an artist.
Was he?
Yeah.
Blimey.
It was
Let's say he
such
tries
a...
on many different
Yeah,
costumes.
I think he quite likes being shocking.
Controversial.
Yeah. But it was... it just felt like it was very much the West Country...
Yeah.
Like whirlwind of speculation and judgments being made from afar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Without actually, you know, there's no immigrants there. So.
Yeah. I always think, well, we just have to live next door to each other for another couple of 100 years and it'll all get sorted
Yeah,
out.
totally.
But that's bizarre, you know, that's what people don't want.
Yeah.
They don't want that to be true.
Yeah.
So
they're not. They're thinking about the issues that are happening now rather than that it will sort itself out over time. I spoke. My friend's Iranian, and she was saying, you know, it's fair enough how people are, because when, like it said, if you all came over to Iran and were just acting English, they wouldn't be up for that at all. That would not be okay.
Yeah.
And so the problem is that the people who are being forced to live alongside each other aren't the people that have kind of caused the situations that are making the movement happen.
Yeah.
And they're just there going, well, now my cousin doesn't live next door anymore, or my whatever.
Yeah.
You know, this isn't the road that I grew up on, or
Yeah.
you know, and
Yeah.
I can understand why people get upset about it.
Yeah. But that's what this chap was saying about From Hope Not Hate, not Nick Knowles.
Yeah.
Whatever his-
Not Nick Knowles.
Not Nick Knowles.
Yeah, like you've got to meet people where they are.
Yeah.
And you've got to stay humble. That's like what you were saying about your opinions. It's just, it's finding that. I find it hard. I haven't quite got to grips with it yet.
Yeah.
It's kind of, you've got to be in the present moment, I think, because any preparation becomes a sort of hardened, you know, like a shield.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I feel when I've enjoyed an encounter. I think, oh, that went well, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's usually because I was more
Present in the moment.
present,
Yeah.
Yeah.
not locked in some story.
Yeah.
I think I'm like, we were having a meal and we were chatting weirdly to the people in the table behind us, because the restaurant's really small and there was just our table and them, and they started off fine and then they veered off into, we were at the Tommy's March, and I was quite interested, but I could feel myself just like, shut down and don't say anything, whereas I think
Shielding.
maybe you do need to find out a bit more about it, maybe be a bit less like, right, I don't want to talk to you then.
I think it's like asking what drew them to it.
Yeah.
And finding out why. Like, what is it that he says that you find so interesting?
Yeah.
What gives me hope is we have these moments on pilgrimage where we sort of touch back to reality and see what's going on in the world, just very small doses, and just hearing about the potential ceasefire. I know that there's so much to take place, and that's just like one tiny slight movement in the right direction, but those little actions do tend to fill me personally with hope, because it feels like what we're doing is actually going to something important, just like these sacred acts, it feels like it's sort of adding to something manifesting, and it just sort of brings a determination as well to sort of complete this pilgrimage.
Yeah. And it's only 12 days left.
There's only 12 days to go, which is kind of crazy. I'm just trying to savour each day and be really grateful, spend time with you guys and in the landscape. And it's brought me hope, just the act of walking itself, because it feels like we've done a sacred act together of something magical and something that means something, and we've had this collective experience, and now we can go off back to our lives and just sort of watch what we've created sort of take shape. So that's given me a lot of inspiration. On this walk has given me a lot of inspiration and hope on how to live my life outside of this, because I've learnt so much being here and learnt so much about myself and the environment and about peace and community, and I feel like this has definitely shaped how I will be approaching life in future. Also, these little acts, when people join us, even if it's just for 5 minutes and they've brought some bread with them, or they've just gone, oh, can I put your bags in my car and I can drive you to wherever you're going next. Like, it's such a small gesture, but it just means so much, and you just really deeply feel that love, and it's kind of helped to show me how I want to show up in life. So I definitely will be sort of having a bit more of a sort of open and giving approach to other people, because I know how this feels. Yeah, totally. That's really lovely. I love that. Yeah. Thank you. Cheers.
Right, Dan, what gives you hope?
Quite a lot of things give me hope, actually, even though I'm usually quite maudlin. Young people give me a lot of hope. There seems to be, I don't know, the emerging generations have kind of different mindset and a different approach to things, and seem to be a lot more community spirited and into just getting out there and building stuff a lot of the time. I think for a lot of them, they've lost the certainties of the older generation, and so they're kind of almost forced into that, working together. So that gives me hope.
Have there any examples of anything since we've been walking that's made you
we've been walking,
think about that?
Maybe not so much about that, but the kindness of strangers has been amazing. So many people going out of their way. It'd be nice if that was more widespread and more open. I don't know, everyone helping everyone. Nature along the way has really given me hope, because it kind of finds a way, and the way that pilgrimage kind of just things happen around it shows you that there is some kind of greater plan going on. It feels like, I think of the Martin Luther King quote. He says, "The moral arc of the universe is long, but it bends towards justice." And I feel that, on the ground, it's not very, when you're caught up in your everyday, you're frantic just trying to live your life and survive, it's hard to see. But doing something like this gives you a bit more of a chance to zoom out and see how things do stitch and fix themselves.
Yeah, totally. I totally see that. It's a bit like things just come together whenever we're at the end of our, we're all knackered, the weather's turning bleak, and we're screwed.
Yeah.
And then a really gorgeous little forest appears where we're totally safe and dry, and got deer coming and checking us out in the night.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it just does
just
feel...
things that just melt your heart.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and like in terms of the young people as well, like Greta Thunberg's, flotilla's been happening while we've been walking.
Yeah.
And just the bravery of what she does.
Yeah, I mean,
really
I remember a few years ago, I just stumbled on one of the school strikes in the middle of Sheffield and just got chatting to people there, and it was so inspiring. They were just getting up and speaking and just were so passionate.
I think there's so much more of this going on than we realise. It's just it doesn't get reported. And that, like, the kindness of strangers is so much more prevalent than we are aware because it doesn't get reported. That's not newsworthy.
Yeah, there's a definite it's that kind of, if it bleeds it leads. Like if something's shocking and horrible and scary, then that's what gets in the news.
Yeah.
And that's what people end up thinking is the norm, but it's really not.
No.
It is kindness that's the norm.
Yeah. Oh, hallelujah to that.
Amen.
Awesome. Thank you. So Dill, what gives you hope?
I think meeting people who are doing something and who do care, and people are actually trying to get things to improve and get things going.
Yeah. Is there any examples of anyone that's done anything that you can think of that you've been like, wow, that's really cool?
Yes, there are, but I just can't remember them off the top of my head. But yes, there are people we've met along the way. They're just gone out of my head.
There was a woman who was starting to remember the coffee van. I don't know if you heard what she was saying, but she was part of a trust or a funding group that had been for years funding Palestinian medics. So funding people to come over and train in England with the NHS in medicine, but to go back. So it wasn't like they were training and then staying here. It was that they went back to Palestine and were helpful there. And that had been going on for ages. And now obviously that was stepped up with everything that had been happening. And now they were like specialising in making prosthetic limbs for children.
No, I didn't hear that. But no, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
That you just keep coming across people who are doing often unsung heroes. You never hear about them. But people who are actually just quietly doing really important stuff, often without really much
fanfare
or any notice. Yes.
Yeah. One of the things that gives me a lot of hope is that things are doubling exponentially. So inventions are doubling exponentially. And what I mean by that is the gap between the first invention, like the first axe head or the first arrowhead, like the gap between them happening and the next one and then the next one.
Yes.
And now, for a while now, it's been a few years, that both inventions and memory storage, and there was something else as well that was something similar, were doubling exponentially, which meant that like there was no longer any limit on like in terms of memory storage, it meant there was no limit on us saving knowledge, because there was a bit of a limit before of like we delete, like the BBC deleting interviews and stuff. You're like, I can't believe you deleted that. Like we don't need to do that anymore. We can just save everything now. But also that inventions double exponentially, which is just incredible because it means that there are people out there doing stuff, working on, all of the issues and problems that are in the world. Someone somewhere's working on it in some way, or there's so much going on that probably there's something happening.
No, undoubtedly the ability to solve nearly all our problems is out there. It's a lot of the problem is just the way things go, what takes off and what doesn't, and I have no idea what makes the difference. Like the difference between VHS and Betamax. Why did VHS take off and Betamax didn't? If you remember VHS.
I remember that. Yeah.
And sometimes there doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason to it.
No. I wonder, so it's just a funny little thought I just had, that I saw the guy receiving the Nobel Prize for Science and Technology yesterday. I was scrolling this morning when I woke up early in my back hair, and he did a warning about AI. So he was the grandfather of AI, and that's why he'd won the award. and he was saying that
leave it alone.
Yeah, basically that's what he was saying. Well, he wasn't saying leave it alone. He was saying we need to think about now how it's governed and what rules are put in place, because one thing we know for sure is if it's just left to the corporations, which is what's happening, then it's not going to be for human benefit. It's going to be for profit, and that's going to be at the expense of many things. And I watched it and I had a moment of like, oh god, this is why I stopped scrolling, because this just filled me with doom. But at the same time, I just had a moment of is, imagine if someone somewhere was working on a good AI that like just was being programmed to like solve all our problems and just sort our shit out, and if there was like any possibility that might end up being a battle that we can't even fight as humans, you know, but there might be for
the potential is
point.
There. Our problem is, as people, is what we do with it, and often there is no grand plan. It just gets pulled one way.
In fact, I was watching another video on doom scrolling today about how it is capitalism, which I know we know, but what he was talking about was how we don't have democracy, we have a capitalist democracy. What we need is an economic democracy where we get to choose what the systems are, but if that ever happens, then it gets violently destroyed. So it's the fight not for little wins within capitalism, because we're never going to win in capitalism, because it's set up for us not to win, not just us personally, humanity and the planet, because it has to just keep consuming. There has to just keep
and it has to keep increasing.
Exactly. So that just is destruction. All that it causes cancer of a body. Like there's no other way of that going. So we have to come up with other ways to fight this cancer, which is, you know, taken over people's minds and everything, that this is the only way. But that's where the fight lies, which I thought was useful, because it stopped me being just negative about rich people, because I'm always sort of in my rhetoric, it's like it's the rich, but like I say, I know lots of rich people who are really nice, who do lovely things, and I don't want to be like racist. I don't want to be richist, you know, just by blanketing a whole group of people, tarring them with the same brush. It's like that's not fair either.
No.
But I will be willing to do that about capitalism. It definitely isn't
that's
beneficial.
The system. No.
The system is going to kill us.
No.
There's no other way about it.
No.
That's not like being, you know, shitty about anything.
But again,
it's a system that destroys.
I don't know how you fight a system that is so unique. I mean, it's not between Labour and Tory. To me, they are both exactly the same capitalist trap. They're just on different sides of who gets the money and how they generate it. But when there's so many people who are invested in the system, and people do want the things, that's the problem. If everybody turned their back on it and said, I don't want this stuff, I don't want to support this whole system, then it would collapse. But people aren't prepared to do that. They do all want the stuff, and I don't exclude myself.
However, when we walk and we do this, we see how bloody lovely it is to not have all the stuff. And how, like, you know, ADHD, I was looking at a meme about hacks for ADHD, and it was pretty much don't do capitalism. Because it was pretty much like, have an outfit you wear every day, get up and do a routine for getting up, and have a thing that you're doing each day. And obviously we don't want to be stuck doing the same jobs because you'll get bored. So you want there to be some freedom, which is where communism was a problem. Because I know people who've lived in, you know, we had some friends in Cuba that we made who were lovely, but they were totally stuck in their jobs. They weren't allowed, they couldn't move.
No, there's no freedom.
There's no freedom. And so that means there's no individuality. So it's like, how can you have a sort of a system where you have got that like simplicity in a way of like doing a pilgrimage, where we get up, we put on the same outfit, we go out and we walk, and it's lovely and we really enjoy what we're doing. Wouldn't want to do it every day forever, but you know, in fact we were doing it every day forever, and it was a hunter-gatherer thing, and we stopped every now and again and had a festival and a party, and you know, met with other tribes to like get off with each other and stuff. Like, I'd be well up for that. I mean, I would love to be hunter-gathering again.
A great many of us would be happiest as hunter-gatherers. It's what we evolved to be. It's what we're meant to be. And
just, how do you push that as a system? It's like, everyone stopped everything and just become hunter-gatherers.
People are horrified. There's a lot of people who are horrified of the thought of not driving a quarter of a mile to the shops.
I know.
and all sorts of things which to us are perfectly normal.
Yeah.
People are horrified by it.
Yeah.
They just want all the stuff, and I don't know how you education. I don't know. Send everyone to Kentwell.
People need to go. Yeah, people will need to go do Kentwell, and people need to go out and walk. But like, not just a walk in a circle to your car.
Yes.
Like an actual.
Yes.
I think people need to go do a few days walk with a bag.
Yeah.
And just live out of a bag for a bit, for just a week. I think 3 or 4 days is even enough. You know, when we did the pilgrimage to Boomtown, that was more than enough. We had miracles happen, we had extraordinary things happen, we met lovely people, and it was, you know, a full immersion in nature. And we had fallings out, and we got injuries. Like literally everything that happens in a pilgrimage all happened in 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
It was really funny. So I can't believe the sun's just come out as well. This is mega. We haven't had any sunshine for a week. This is well good. This is our wet and miserable week, so it's looking alright. Yay. Alright, thank you. That's cool.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Basically, all become hands together is.
Yes. Well, that would sort it out.
If you enjoy this podcast, then please consider supporting me on a crowdfunder, which is Just Giving Pilgrimage for Peace. So if you're able to Google that and support the crowdfunder, it was meant to be to raise money for charity, but we didn't get the Arts Council funding, which means that there's an initial cost for just being able to like pay bills and eat and drink and stuff while I'm on the road. But then if we make the target, then anything that we raise over that, then I'm going to be sending to charities. And I've managed to locate 3 small charities which are able to get funds and support through into Gaza. Otherwise we're walking through from Kenilworth to the Norfolk coast, and we're going to be performing en route. And I've been posting on my social media the dates and locations. And if you would like us to perform for you, or if you're up for feeding us or letting us stay, then get in touch through social media. And it would be amazing to connect with you and to come and perform. So that's at Kriya Arts, which is KRIYAARTS. And now on with the show. The spooky shoe. Haunted object. Yeah, there we go, Rob.
I should tell you the story about why this part of the world is called Hell's End then.
Oh, go on.
Right, so over there is Western Hills,
yeah,
which is the highest piece of land until you hit the Ural Mountains going east.
Yeah.
Over there is the Ivel Springs, which is the start of the River Ivel, and everywhere between there and Ivel Springs is shale. So there's a shale, stony kind of run all the way from there all the way along here. So when this road was they had houses built on it. All the houses were built on were out of old bits of stone and flint and all that sort of stuff, and they literally were houses built on sand, so they didn't really last. So in 1930, so this pub was built in 1680. In 1930, the Baldock Urban District Council compulsory purchased every single property from the road from Hitchin Street all the way to over there to all right back there, and knocked every single thing down, destroyed the lot. And this was the only building that was left. And there used to be, it was the poorest part of the town, and there used to be a pub here, a pub around the corner called the Black Eagle. And because these were also the pubs between Letchworth and Baldock,
yeah,
they were also the roughest. So not only was it a really horrible place to live, but also you had these 2 horrible rough pubs where everyone fighting all the time. Not now, obviously. And that's why it was called Hell's End.
Oh wow, there you go. And then they flattened it all. Wow.
And then you can see they flattened everything and they built council houses.
And then this is a haunted shoe that is protecting the pub from horrible things happening.
And then somewhere around here is Clowney.
Cloudy the
Clowney.
Clowney, sorry Clowney. Clowney the poltergeist. He did just knock something over while we were chatting about ley lines. Sorry, what was a pot boy? Say that again.
So there's beer in the cellar.
Yeah.
You would run up and down the cellar steps. Back in the day when the cellar steps were there, there was a hole there. You should run down, lift it up, run down the cellar, and come back up with the jugs of beer.
Yeah.
It would just be a table and they just fill the beers up.
got
I
you.
think he died in 1915 or something. Down there, I think.
Oh, wow.
Or something around there, I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, he's...
And he sometimes just does
he's
stuff
more,
around
he's more,
here.
I mean, you see him through the corner of your eye, but he's mainly chucking stuff about, really.
Yeah, that's what happened. Something knocked over while we were... Yeah.
Yeah, well, it may or may not, but you know, if I don't know how the physics works.
No.
It's very difficult to explain, but there's a lot of it. So.
Yeah. There's a lot of it going on.
Yeah, but I'm used to him now, so.
Yeah. No, there was a pub somewhere nearby in East Anglia, because that's where I'm from, that had the cat in the wall.
Yeah,
and they moved that, and then it got hit by a lorry, and like there was a motorbike hit it. And
yeah, so they told us to put it back in and don't move it, which is why it's like that.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and the other stuff is the stuff that came out with it at the same time, like there's a little horseshoe, a pony's horseshoe. But we decided we're just going to put the lot in, just to be safe.
Yeah. We don't know which bit it is that's
you know,
working.
We're going to go through it and say, oh, this doesn't look haunted, this does. It's like, put the whole lot back now.
That's amazing. That's so cool.
Because we uncovered all this. All that was all boarded. This was all boarded up. It was all. You can see where the line was, really. So we opened it all back up when we renovated the place.
It's such an amazing pub.
Right,
definitely worth the award.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Can I bring this to you?
Yeah, no, that's great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So I'll tell you all that. Don't you worry.
Yeah, thanks so much. It's been lovely to meet you. Yeah. What gives you hope in terms of what's going on in the world and for the future? What are the things that give you hope?
Well, because I'm spiritual and a healer, so sending out healing does give me hope. Helping others every day, I help someone every day. Just trying to make people's lives and people a bit happier.
Yeah, and that's something that you actively...
I actively do, yes.
Okay, hang on, say that again. So that's something you actively do?
Yes, without even thinking.
Yeah.
Like a lady had a heart problem or she had something wrong with her chest, and I gave her some homemade chutney.
Okay. Oh. Yeah. And the video we made earlier.
Yes.
That was great.
Yeah.
And do you know about the Michael line? So you know the Michael line runs right next to your house, the energy line.
Right. Yes.
Because that's something that a lot of people that we've met who are energy workers do, is work with the lines. So it's something that it's almost like a... You know those telephone, when you used to tie a bit of string between cans?
Yes.
And you could send it all the way to Cornwall. You could send stuff all the way down that line. Just something I thought would be interesting to
because I've been doing it for so long now. I feel that I naturally do it without even knowing I'm doing it.
Yeah, sending it out there. Yeah, it's wonderful. Like we were just literally because also there's probably a reason why you were drawn to move here and live near here. Do you know what I mean? Because there's this line.
Yeah, see, I'm here.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm meant to be here.
Yeah, excellent. And what is there any advice that you'd give to people out there who aren't maybe clued into working with energy or might be feeling
That's
hopeless?
A difficult one, isn't it? It's always difficult because, yes, you always try and give people advice, but if they're not that spiritual, they don't often take any advice because
they're not going to feel it.
They think it's a load of rubbish.
Yeah. No, brilliant.
But you've got to try anyway.
Yeah, thank you. All right, thank you. Awesome. Yeah, so Katie, what gives you hope? What's been giving you hope at the moment?
I think things that give me hope are definitely the herbs.
Yeah.
And
so we both did the same herbalism training.
We did
with the Seed Sisters. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing course. So I do a lot of walking and just seeing the generosity and the abundance of the plants that are around us all the time. And the people that I meet when I'm out walking, and having conversations about plants and the day-to-day connections, I think, because you turn on the news and you hear all of this awfulness, and stories of division. Yeah. And I find hope in just the daily interactions that you have with people, which are beautiful and kind. Yeah. And actually, it's a funny anecdote.
when I dropped my one and only car key down the sump drain at Tesco's petrol station a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And so many people came to help me.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And I don't know, it was just like one of those moments where I didn't ask for help.
Yeah.
And people stopped and took time out of their day to try and get me out of this rather ridiculous situation.
Yeah.
And it was a reminder that kindness is everywhere.
Yeah. Because it's funny, even in the news they'll say, oh, you know, people are shouting for help and no one stopped, or they'll do experiments where people shout for help and people don't stop. And it just feels like there's like a simulation that we're being told is real, that's a way of being, that is the news, that is all of the stuff that we're being told all the time. But it just doesn't marry up with actual day-to-day experience.
Yeah, it doesn't reflect what I'm experiencing.
Exactly. It's just not true. And yes, it can happen, and there are elements that can happen, but they're rare compared to the majority, which is not what they're saying it is.
Yes.
And that's the thing that I'm kind of feeling quite done with and adamant about, of like, I'm not going to put up with this anymore. Like, what you're saying about what the way things are isn't true.
Yeah, enough already.
Yeah, I've had enough of hearing it. You know, so if someone's spouting something at you that's something they've heard in the paper, or is a particular perspective that we've all heard a million times, I'm just gonna, that's what this pilgrimage has given me, is a fortification of like, that's not what I've personally experienced firsthand from meeting loads of people, walking across the country.
Yeah.
What you're saying isn't true, and you're saying it through a newspaper article that you've read, written by a billionaire who's never been to any of these places either. You know, so like, neither of you know what you're talking about.
Yeah, here are some actual real life situations that I've experienced and people that I've met and things that have happened. Which, this is the reality. And also with the herbs as well, like this other, even more beautiful reality, like it's beyond reality, this other thing of like the relationships with the plants, which is what we got taught on our herbalism apprenticeship, is the sensory herbalism, and that learning to connect with plants on a sensory level, which is an even richer reality that's further than, you know, just like what I've been learning from chatting to people. This is more like what the lines are, where it's something deeper than that, where it gets into the realm of spiritual and it gets into the realm of inner world work. Yeah.
Where there's something even deeper with the plants supporting us and, you know, helping us and connecting with us on a level of spirit and emotional support and connection.
And trusting how we feel, trusting our connection to the natural world, not having to learn through, you know, somebody who's superior and gone through a system
in a lab coat.
So we all have this amazing ability to perceive and understand and communicate with the world around us. So it's learning to trust again.
Yeah, like you were as a child.
Yeah.
So it's that child connection and wonder of like absolute love for that tree that you climb. It's permission is the word I always come back to, of like giving your inner world permission to be valid, and, you know, like dreams or flights of fancy or emotional connections that you have with things. And in our reality especially, they're fleeting, they're really fleeting. It could be a little glimmer of I feel like that bush said hello to me, or, you know, I think I just saw a thing out the corner of my eye, or I'm thinking about the ancestors when I'm sat in this place. And it's easy in our everyday life for that to just be nothing. Like it's just, you know, just your inner world, having just your imagination, just whatever. Don't even necessarily think about it. It's just like some thoughts that you had throughout the day. But that permission is to give them, to blow them up and make them bigger, and be like, that was a connection. That was a message from the hedgerow. That was a ancestor speaking to me. And it was quick. But if I slow down and give space for that, it can go on longer. Like they can be slightly longer moments. And
there's meaning in it.
Yeah, giving it that weight and meaning.
I just thought of something else that gave me hope this year. So just a little shout out to Landock Farm, which is where my treatment room is. And they do an annual event called Groundswell, which brings together regenerative farmers from around the UK and internationally as well, to share practices and ways of supporting the soil, growing healthier food. And so I went there this year, and I think there's 9,000 people. And I just felt very hopeful that there's 9,000 people sharing this space. They've all come together for the pure intention of how do we care for the earth better and care for each other better. And I was like, I think things are going to be okay.
This is it. Like, that's where my main hope comes from, is the amount of moving parts that there are. There are more moving parts than there's ever been before. And no matter how many algorithms and just there's so much going on. And like within that, there's this, it's just a cacophony of light and dark, and there's good, it's all yin and yang, there's good and bad in all of it, and it's all a mix, everything's a massive mix. It's actually what I've just written about for the article for this forthcoming dark moon with the Libra energy, is that angels in the dark and devils in the light. That like I was saying, we went to Mangrove Green and it was all white people with St George's Cross flags, and like we felt so much like so less safe there than we did in Luton, where it's completely multicultural and run down and poor. And there we were met with nothing but smiles and curiosity and laughter, and people going, God, you're an inspiration. And then in Mangrove Green it was like, where are you staying? And it's just this instant, like we're getting a lift. It's like the only place that we've lied. And it's like, you're saying that the threat's coming across the water, but really it's not. The threat's coming from within. It's you guys turning, it's you guys getting permission to be, the worst selves of ourselves. We're being given permission by the powers that be to be thugs. And so the violence and the threat and the danger is coming from within us, not from outwardly. And that, but even just everything like AI, there's so many things happening that it's like, I just feel like it's all to play for, and therefore we need to give it our all. There's some lovely mugwort just walked past. We just need to be in the bigger picture. Our pixels, we have to choose what colour our pixel goes, and the more of us choosing, whatever whatever colour it is, a colour that feels loving and warm and safe, then that's going to change the overall image of the picture. So to pink.
Big pink.
Basically, it's going to have to all be pink, right?
With sparkles.
Pink and sparkly. Oh, definitely. And green.
Lots of green.
Lots of green.
Heart colours.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about that last night actually, because I really like what you say about that idea of us each being a pixel, part of the bigger picture, but the power of that pixel to influence and change the whole. So when you feel powerless and overwhelmed by what's going on, just bringing it back to what can I do? What can I do with my pixel?
Literally. And it's close, middle and far. I mean, even just like how you're treating the space around you, your room, literally it can be just that. Like, make everything an act of worship, make everything sacred, make everything a work of art. So even just preparing beautiful things for yourself for breakfast and doing a moment of the tea ceremony like they do the Seed Sisters to, I always bless my tea in the morning. I'll make a pot of tea and I'll stop and I'll bless it. And my partner will come and do it with me, and he puts his arms around me and puts his hands on the pot. And all that love. And it's just the setup for the day. And that's so small, but that's just like, it's such a small thing, but it's like an intention setting for the day.
Yeah, and they do all of those, is it Dr. Emoto and his water research?
Yes, exactly. And, what we say to our water imbibes us and affects us with, influences us.
We are bodies of water.
Yeah, and saying kind things to yourself, and then like I always do thank you future me or past me. So I'll do the washing up, or I'll make the bed, or I'll do something nice, and then when I come back, look, we haven't been seeing many mushrooms since we left the West Country, which has been.
I'll take one for identification purposes.
That's cool. Don't know that one. That's cool. It sort of looks like a field mushroom, but it's a bit more wibbly wobbly looking.
I've got a friend who will know.
Who will know. Amazing. But that being able to say thank you past me. So when you go to your bed and it's made, just saying thank you. Oh, thank you, pass me. And it's a gift. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's a gift that you're giving to yourself in the future. Yeah, just little things like that.
Yeah, and even like with today, I was, had a little bit of guilt yesterday. I was like, I should be working today. And then I was like, no,
but this is work. This is inner work.
This is important.
Yes.
And I just think it's brilliant what you're doing.
Yeah, thank you.
The intention behind it, and is it you that talks about kind of almost massaging the earth with your feet?
Yeah, it's acupuncture.
Yeah,
well, these are healing sticks given to us by lovely Gordon. Gordon and Geraldine. Gordon talks to trees, and he's got all these sticks that he gives out to people as tree guardians, and he has this connection with the trees, and it's just lovely to hear his world, and his connection to trees is so deep, and he gives these staffs out, and they're not rubber tipped, so when we're walking we're connecting with the earth and sending our intention into the earth. So we're basically walking along these meridian lines of the body of the earth with this staff, giving it a little acupuncture squish as we walk and massaging with our feet and our intention. And people say who work with the lines, like, oh, we can feel it, the other end of the country, they can feel it, and I love that. I just love that the intention's like running along the lines somehow. Awesome. Fabulous. Thank you.
Oh, I'm delighted to be walking with you.
It's lovely to meet you at last.
Yay.
What gives me hope? 3 things give me hope. Community, nature and art. Community is where I think resilience resides. I think that the more we work together and look after each other, the more we will grassroots overthrow, overcome, ignore, build something new, to stop being reliant on the system with the megalomaniacs at the top, oligarchs. So something that has foundations, strong foundations. I think community is absolutely the key for that. So anything community driven, because also I think you become much more socialist when you are learning to look after each other and take care of each other. You are aware of, Mr. Jones down the street having problems and needing help and support, and so people are more likely to give it and do it. So that is one of my big hopes, is community banding together and supporting each other. Nature is because I think that we'll, pull through in whatever guise we do with whatever happens. To some extent there'll probably or possibly be massive changes. Who knows what they will look like. There might be a massive shift in numbers of humans or whatever it is. But I know nature will thrive still, whatever happens in the end. Might have to belch us out of existence, but it will continue. But that's not great. My hope in that is that some of us survive and learn a huge lesson from it and learn to live in harmony and in a completely different way, cyclical way, with the land moving forward. It's one of the downloads that I got from the COP26 pilgrimage, was that the land, Mother Nature, downloaded to me on that pilgrimage that she didn't want us to just die out, because that was a really bad ending to a really rubbish story. We'd killed all our brothers and sisters and behaved abominably and then killed ourselves or run ourselves into oblivion. That's just a really rubbish story. Whereas if we repent and, like the prodigal son, come back and try and make amends, that's the story you want as a parent, as a mother. You want your child to come back and repent, and you'll be appreciated and loved for it. And that's what we want, really, is that to happen. And we will never be able to make up for what we've done, but we could at least try. So that's my hope, is that happens somewhere along the lines, and that gives me hope in that I know nature will prevail, but I hope we will in some way make up for what we've done. And then the third one, which is creativity and art, is kind of spirit as well, is that there's something more to all of this. It's the inner world. So there's an outer world story going on, which is interesting and vibrant, and a dance and a forever unfolding and twisting and turning plot line with perils and tribulations and drama and all the things that one needs for a narrative to carry on developing. But it is just a story, it's just a play, and there's this whole inner world creativity thing going on as well. And so the more I connect with that, the more I fool, the more I walk and create pilgrimages and perform and create works of art, like writing books, making podcasts, holding moon ceremonies, the more I connect with that spirit and that inner world and creativity, the more I remember that this is just a game and that we don't have to, take it too seriously. Yes, people are physically getting tortured. Yes, one might get tortured oneself for the role one plays in this game. But even, the way I feel I'd be able to cope with that is to play it like my life depends on it, fully believe in what's going on. In some ways, when you play it like a game, you kind of give it your all in a way that you don't if you think that it's real. You sort of are taking it all a bit too seriously. And actually, there's a lot more fear. And, you possibly might be less likely to be tortured, but you're more likely to feel like you didn't really live your life fully, or that you've sort of done something that you feel out of integrity with, like you didn't protect the person, you didn't hide them in the attic, you didn't go on the flotilla, you didn't post on Facebook that you support Palestine, you just didn't do the things that might single you out and make you, possibly get in trouble because, it's all too real, and what if something happens? And actually, like, when it's just a game and it's a play, it doesn't mean that it's not, it doesn't mean that the stakes aren't high. The stakes are as high as they can be. If you die, you die. But play it like your life depends on it, but play. And you might as well play it for what you believe in and what you care about and what you think is the right thing. And then that's the role that's the strategy you're playing. I'd rather play that. That's the main thing, is that, I don't know what's true and what's not. I believe in everything and nothing, but my experiences have led me to believe there's a hell of a lot more going on with all this than just what the outer world is providing and showing us. So it's a tiny little bit of the puzzle of the story, fraction of it. There's a whole other aspect to it, and I give all of that space and time as well, and that's where I get my real hope from, is this other thing that's bigger than all of us and all of this. And I walk in the pilgrimages, visiting the churches and the sacred sites, performing this ancient mummers play, walking, giving the land a healing energy massage with our feet and with our staffs, doing acupuncture on the land, sending our energy out and our intention out into the world with what we're doing. I don't think that that's nothing, and I feel that it's having some ripples out there, some effect, some part of the play, part of the storyline on subtle levels. And that all gives me hope. Gives me hope that there's more to all this than meets the eye. So community, people, connection, love, nature, just the interconnectedness and the resilience and the long time, deep time, as Robert Macfarlane calls it. We are flickers, mere specks in the grand scheme of things. And the creativity, spirit, inner world element, where even all of this, even all the earth, its mycelium network and the universe and all the stuff that really physically can see is just the tip of a infinitely vast iceberg. There's way more to it than all of that. So there you go. That's where my hope resides. And yeah, onwards and upwards. We've got 1 week left. Absolutely mental. We're just walking towards Duxford, and then we're entering my ancestors' land, the Iceni and Trivaventi tribes, of which I am grown. So looking forward to that. So yeah, more next week, and that's the end. Can't believe it. Shall see thee anon.